ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् सावधूतं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधा वृंदावनेश्वरी विषमान सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। नमोस्तुते व्यास विशाल बुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दाय पत्रनेत्रे येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीपः प्रपन्ना परिजाताय स्तोत्रवैत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतातुहे नमः। Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to Bhakti-sastri, Gita-sastri class. Request all of you to kindly join on time. We're studying chapter 2 of Bhagavad-gita. So far we have completed first 30 verses of it. And Krishna has told Arjuna, understanding that the body is different from the soul and you are spirit soul and the soul cannot be killed. Soul is imperishable. You cannot protect your relatives or friends from dying. If they have to die, they will die. You should do your duty as a fighter. You should fight. Right? That's what Krishna told. See, the discussion between Arjuna and Krishna is not a discussion without any purpose. They are not just discussing philosophy. Krishna wants to get something done from Arjuna. Right? And then he's speaking all this knowledge. Therefore, the practical application of the knowledge of Gita for Arjuna is based on Arjuna's situation. Right? And the practical application of the knowledge of Gita for us may not be the same instruction as it was for Arjuna. For Arjuna, what it was? Fight. But for us, that may not be the instruction of Gita, fight. Right? Isn't it? Therefore, through the character of Arjuna, understanding his problem, his situation, we have to not look at this practical instruction of Krishna that fight. What we have to look at it, what is the underlying concepts that Krishna is trying to explain? And after I have understood those concepts, how am I going to apply those concepts in my life? Right? Isn't it? Then I have actually understood Bhagavad-gita And not only I have understood Bhagavad Gita, I can also explain Bhagavad Gita to others and guide others on the basis of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, I'll not be able to guide people on the basis of Bhagavad Gita. Then I'll have a very stereotyped, monotonous understanding of what Gita is saying, and I'll have same solution for all the people, whatever circumstances they may be in. And that's why, people come up with those narrow-minded understandings of Bhagavad Gita. The lesson of Gita is you should fight. That's the lesson of Gita. But that's a very narrow-minded understanding, right? Got it? So this is something which we have to keep very clear. What is it Krishna trying to teach through these verses, right? What are the concepts? What exactly is trying to do? Along with that, he has a goal to achieve, right? Mm. Just like when Krishna spoke to Nand Maharaj, his father, he wanted to stop which puja? Govardhan puja. Huh? Which puja he wanted to stop? Okay, I'm sorry. You're not able to unmute yourself. Yes.
Indra
Indra
Puja.
Puja.
Indra puja. So now Krishna had a goal to achieve. Stop Indra puja. Now for stopping Indra puja, he spoke philosophy to his father, right? But he spoke wrong philosophy. Somehow then he wanted the Indra puja to be stopped. So he spoke wrong philosophy. That all this is nonsense, right? It's called karma mimamsa. So likewise here, Krishna has a goal to achieve. Arjuna, you should fight. Therefore, through all the different things he's telling, he's not telling anything wrong. He is telling the right thing. But the goal is you should fight. Therefore, again and again repeating the same point. You should fight. You should fight. You should fight. You should fight. But that's not the essential teaching of the Bhagavad Gita as such, isn't it? And we have to learn the concepts. That's most important. So that's what we did. In the previous section, we understood about the signs of soul. Now, a new topic is going to begin in this chapter. What will be the new topic? What was the first reason that Arjuna said, I don't want to fight? We just, put those reasons into short term phrases.
Compassion.
Compassion.
Compassion. I don't want to fight. It's because of compassion I want to fight. Now, what was the second reason?
Destroyer of dynasties.
No, that was not the second reason.
Enjoyment. Enjoyment.
Enjoyment. If I fight, I mean, how am I going to enjoy? Because everyone will get killed if I win, and if I lose, I will get killed. So how will I enjoy? You can enjoy only with friends and family, right? So he was thinking about happiness, personal happiness, material happiness, that you become material happy when you can do things for your family and be happy with them like that. So now Krishna in the next section is going to answer that question, that argument. How does one get material happiness? Okay, he's going to address that. So that is verse number 31 to 36, 37. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Let me open the verse. So 2.31 to 38 is a new section, and the title of that section is Karma Kanya. You should fight. Okay, that's the section here. So Krishna is telling here basically, you want to enjoy Arjuna, you want happiness in life. How will you get it? Be dutiful and enjoy. You should be dutiful and you should enjoy. Swadharmam api chavikshya na vikampitumar dharmadhi yuddhat sheyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. And so there is no need for what?
Hesitation.
Hesitation. Now Shilbrad gives good explanation here. Siddhadeya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my.
Okay.
Out of 4 orders of social administrations, the second order for the matter of good administration is called Kshatriya. Kshat means hut. One who gives protection from harm is called Kshatriya. Traite, to give protection. The Kshatriyas are trained for killing in the forest. A Kshatriya would go into the forest and challenge a tiger face to face and fight with the tiger with his sword. When the tiger was killed, it would be offered the royal order of cremation. This system has been followed even up to the present day by the Kshatriya kings of Jaipur state. The Kshatriyas are specially trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyasa or renunciation. Non-violence in politics may be diplomacy, but it is never a factor or principle in religious law books, it is stated. Hare Krishna.
Read the Sanskrit.
Okay. Haveshmito mitonyanyam jiga jiga amashanta mahi.
Okay, I'll read. Ahaveshu mithonyanya jinghang santo mahikshitaha yudhamanah parang shaktya swargam yantya paranmukhaha yagyeshu pashava brahman hanyante satatang dvijahi sanskrita kila mantraischa tepi swargam avapnuvan. Please read this paragraph.
In the battlefield, a king or kshatriya, while fighting another king envious of him, is eligible for achieving the heavenly planets after death. As the Brahmanas also attain the heavenly planets by sacrificing animals in the sacrificial fire. Therefore, killing on the battlefield on religious principles and killing animals in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be acts of violence, because everyone is benefited by the religious principles involved. The animal sacrificed gets a human life immediately without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another. And the Kshatriyas killed on the battlefield also attain the heavenly planets, as do the Brahmanas who attain them by offering sacrifice.
Thank you. So here, okay, let's read the last paragraph, then we discuss. Someone else. Suman Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. There are two kinds of swadharmas, specific duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of his particular body in accordance with religious principle in order to achieve liberation. When one is liberated, one's swadharma specific duty becomes spiritual and is not in the material bodily concept. In the bodily conception of life, there are specific duties for the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas respectively, and such duties are unavoidable. Swadharma is ordained by the Lord, and this will be clarified in the fourth chapter. On the bodily plane, Swadharma is called Varnashrama Dharma, or man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Human civilization begins from the stage of Varnashrama Dharma, or specific duties in terms of the specific modes of nature of the body obtained, discharging one's specific duty in any field of action in accordance with the orders of high authority.
Vaichi Mataji, please
Prabhuji,
read.
are you muted?
Vaichi Mataji.
We cannot hear
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhuji. duty of Kshatriya. Out of the 4 orders of social administration, the second order for the matter of good administration is called Kshatriya. Kshat means hurt. One who gives protection from harm is called Kshatriya. Trayate, to give protection. The Kshatriyas are trained for killing in the forest. A Kshatriya would go into the forest and challenge a tiger face to face and fight with the tiger with his sword. When the tiger was killed, it would be offered the royal order of cremation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what I mentioned before on the previous slide, I think you all did not hear it. I was on mute.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji, you
What I
were
was
on
saying
mute.
is, if someone asks us, where is it in Gita written that this is a war based on Dharma, or Krishna was advocating war based on Dharma? This is the verse. See here, it's very clearly mentioned. Dharmaya di yuddhach. If you fight on the basis of Dharma, Dharmaya di yuddhach. That this war, this battle has to be fought on the basis of Dharma. It's Dharma Yuddha. Right? So Krishna is using that word very clearly in Bhagavad-gita. Dharmaya di yuddha shreyonyat. He says there's nothing better than that. To fight for Dharma or to fight on the basis of Dharma, there's nothing better than that for a Kshatriya. Fine. Now, who is a Kshatriya? One who protects others from harm. One who gives protection. That is called Kshatriya. Kshatrayate. Tayate means to give protection. Shat means from hurt. So one who gives protection from that is Kshatriya. And then it's explained how they used to train themselves to do this, right? This system has been followed even up to the present day by the Kshatriya kings of Jaipur state. The Kshatriyas are specially trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyas or renunciation. Okay. Now, when violence is beneficial, read this, Mukund Krishna. Not there. Aryan Prabhu, read this.
When violence is beneficial. Therefore, killing on the battlefield on religious principles and killing animals in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be the acts of violence, because everyone is benefited by the religious principles involved. The animal sacrificed gets a human life immediately without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another. And the Kshatriyas killed on the battlefield also attain the heavenly planets as to the Brahmanas who attain them by offering sacrifice. 2.31 purport.
So this is a very important lesson to learn. Duty is assigned, not chosen. Understand your duty from the giver's point of view, not your point of view. Right? We cannot decide what is my duty. It is decided by someone else and it's told to you that you should do this. And doing that becomes my duty. Now that I decide I'm not going to fight, that's my duty. No, then it doesn't become your duty like that. It's not chosen, it is assigned. It is given. This is your duty and you should be doing it. So Krishna is saying, Arjuna, if you fight on the basis of that, that's the best thing for you. Swadharmam api chavikshya na vikampitum arhasi. Right? Swadharma. All right. Now that word Swadharma, as Prabhupada explains in the purport, can have two meanings based on the word Swa. How? If the word Swa means body, then what is the dharma of body? Or what is the dharma based on the body I have? That's the Varnashram dharma. Okay, non-liberated state. If you are a Brahmana, act like a Brahmana. If you are a Kshatriya, act like a Kshatriya. If you are Vaishya, act like a Vaishya. If you are Shudra, act like a Shudra. Understood, right? And Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. Fine. That is based on the body. Now, if you take the meaning of the word swa as soul, then the other dharma is Bhagavad-dharma, the liberated state, which is devotional service or Krishna consciousness. Understood? Okay. Now I'll ask you a question. If Arjuna fights on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which Swadharma is doing? Body or soul?
Varnashram. Body.
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 Both.
Body.
Both. Okay, those who say both, why you say both?
Because Krishna told
Basically, the Kshatriyas
to do to
and-
fight, so it becomes Bhagavad-gita. And also Krishna is saying because he's a Kshatriya, he's supposed to fight because he's in that role. So that's how it's both.
So let's say if Arjuna did not hear Bhagavad-gita, and then he would have fought the battle of Kurukshetra, then it will be which dharma?
Body.
Body.
Varnashrama dharma.
Body.
Ashram Dharma.
Only Varnashram, right?
Varnashram.
And now because he's going to fight because Krishna is telling him, Arjuna, you fight because I am telling you to fight.
Bhagavad-gita.
Bhagavad Dharma.
Both.
Then it becomes
Both.
Bhagavad
Bhagavad
Dharma,
Dharma.
right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Correct? Because he's obeying Krishna's order, which means it becomes
Yes.
bhakti. You are listening to what Krishna is saying. You're doing it out of love for Krishna. So it becomes Bhagavad Dharma. And because he's also doing it based on that I'm Kshatriya, it's Varnashrama. Right? Now, this is known as Daiva Varnashrama. Understood? When your Varnashrama pleases Krishna, it becomes Daiva Varnashrama. Fine. But let's say we talk about Ravana. Ravan was, based on his Varna and Ashrama, he was okay. He was doing everything which is what a Kshatriya is supposed to do. Right? And he was a Grihastha. So it's fine. He was okay. In that sense, he's okay. But he was disobedient to Lord Ramachandra. So in that case, the Varnashram followed by him will be called as
Asura.
Asuri Varnashram. Fine. So when Bhagavatam says Varnashrama is not the highest, why it says so? Because if it's Asuri Varnashrama, not much use. But if Varnashrama is leading to Bhakti, then that's fine. That's okay. Right? Isn't it? So Krishna here is telling about Swadharma. So for Arjuna, if he's Kshatriya, the Swadharma is to fight. And he's saying, if you fight, you do your duty, you will be happy. Don't worry. Don't worry about material happiness. You will get what you get. Okay? As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of one's particular body in order to achieve liberation. Fine. Swadharma is given by the Lord. So on the bodily platform, it is Varnashram, it is a stepping stone for spiritual understanding. So you know what happens is before we come to Krishna consciousness, honestly speaking, in Kali Yuga, no one understands what is one's Varna and what is one's ashram fully. Right? Those who think they are Grihasthas, they are not Grihasthas. Who they are?
Griha
Right? Isn't it? Correct? And those who think they are brahmacharis, they are not brahmacharis. Who they are? They're bachelors, not brahmacharis. Right? So before coming to Krishna consciousness, if someone thinks I'm a brahmachari, he's a bachelor, not a brahmachari. And so I think I'm a grihastha, that person is a grihamairi. Isn't it? And regarding varna, no one understands what is one's varna. Shudra is acting like a Brahmana, Brahmana is doing the job of Shudra. Right or wrong? Isn't it? No one knows what is my nature. After practicing Krishna consciousness for considerable amount of time, then you become actually situated in your nature, even on the bodily platform. And then you start identifying, oh, my nature is like that of a Kshatriya. My nature is like that of a Brahmana. My nature is like that of a Shudra. I'm a brahmachari. I'm a grihastha. So now how to become a good brahmachari? How to become a good grihastha? How to become a good Kshatriya? How to become a good Brahmana? Then that intelligence develops after a good amount of time. Because purification of heart happens. All the cloud which is there in the intelligence gets dispersed. You know? Then you know what I'm supposed to do in life, actually. And then along with that, spiritual life also takes you further ahead, making progress in Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is telling Arjuna here, you want to be happy, materially happy, do your Swadharma. And because you are Kshatriya, you should fight. Okay? Understood? Any questions from the purport here about animal killing, about violence? I don't think so. There should be any question.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. I
Yes.
have a question related to the duties. It is you said that we one second. Sorry. So duty. Our duty is one second. Just give me a moment. I'll just phrase it.
When Arjuna was liberated, his dharma was Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma is also to fight for.
Bhagavad Dharma is to listen to Krishna.
Okay.
Krishna is saying fight, you fight. If Krishna is saying don't fight, you stop fighting, you stop. Right? That's Bhagavad Dharma.
Yes, Roji, I'll ask now. We have chosen Krishna consciousness, and being in a Krishna consciousness, our duty is to, serve Krishna, serve devotees. But born in a Kshatriya family, as a son, as a brother, as a husband, father, we have a different duties. So, how to understand what is the real duty? Obviously,
Both are the duties which have to be taken care of.
mhm.
You have to take care of both the duties. You can't neglect one and just go for the other. That's what is called social and family obligations, no? You have to fulfill those obligations. That's your duty. Like to give an example. You are in a family, you are a grihastha. Someone is getting married. Is it going to be any way beneficial for you to go back to God to attend a marriage ceremony? No.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
No way. But then it's an obligation. So you have to do it. Correct? Isn't it?
Right.
So that's what you have to see. If it's an obligation, I do it. Then we weigh. Okay, it's an obligation. Do I have to really do it? Is it going to be too harmful for my Krishna consciousness? Then I can give up that obligation, no problem. But it's like it's okay, I can manage, no problem. It's not going to affect my Krishna consciousness so badly, And you do it. Isn't it? And you can even do it in a Krishna conscious manner. How? Instead of going to that marriage to celebrate the marriage. I'll go to that marriage. I'll meet some people there. And if I get a chance, I'll talk to them about Krishna. Why not? Anyway, people talk. So I'll talk about Krishna. This is what I'm doing these days. So you can, use that situation while fulfilling your material obligations. How can I use it in my Krishna consciousness? Then even that becomes Krishna consciousness. Getting it right, Prabhu?
Absolutely, Prabhuji.
Yes. Any other question?
Thank you so much.
Prabhuji, there is a reference to the religious law book in Prabhupada
Manusmriti.
Manusmriti. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you mentioned that when we follow whatever Krishna says is a Bhagavad Dharma, and Varnashrama Dharma is according to our prescribed duties, where we fall under. But Varnashrama Dharma is also instructed by Krishna only, right? How come?
But then you are not doing it because you are obedient to Krishna. You are just doing because you are a religious man. You don't care whether Krishna said it or not.
Okay.
Right? Just because that's your sanskar, that's your culture, that's what you have been taught since childhood. So you just do it. So you are being obedient, but not because Krishna said it. You're just being obedient. So there may be no love for Krishna at that, But here you are doing it because Krishna is saying.
What if we are following Varnashrama Dharma because of out of love for Krishna? Then it is a Bhagavad Dharma.
Then it's Bhagavad Dharma.
Okay.
Yeah, out of love of Krishna, you kill someone, also it will be Bhagavad Dharma. No problem. That's what Arjuna is being told to do, right? You fight for me. Krishna will tell later, you fight for me.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, in the purport, it is given that Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyasa or renunciation. Why is it so?
Many reasons. By nature, Kshatriya is violent. So how will he be able to do the duty of a sannyasi nicely? Sannyasi is who? A person who is very, very tolerant, right? And Kshatriya will not be able to tolerate. It's not possible for Kshatriya. And don't think that only Kshatriya this rule applies. Actually, only Brahmanas can take sannyas. Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras can never take sannyas. Their nature will not let them become a good sannyasi. Right? Not qualified, below qualification.
But after some point of time, they give up everything and take vanaprastha and followed by sannyas.
Who?
And even Kshatriyas also. Like
No,
if you
they're not allowed. There may be some rare instances, some exemplary personalities who are like Raja Rishis, you may get some example. But otherwise, they can take vanaprastha, then they can engage in religious activities, but not take sannyas.
But so many kings have taken to renunciation, Prabhuji.
How
Like
many kings? Mataji, how many kings have existed in the annals of human history? And out of that, how many kings have taken sannyas?
Like Jad Bharat also, Prabhuji.
Mataji, what I'm asking is, do you know the names of all the kings that have existed in humankind?
No.
You only know the names of kings who come in Bhagavatam, right?
Yes.
So how can you say so many kings? Right. Those who have come in Bhagavatam, they are special personalities. That's why they are in Bhagavatam. Right? So if someone is a Raja Rishi, that's a different thing. Saintly king, that person may take sannyas. But who is only a Kshatriya and not really a saintly person, how can that person take sannyas? Not possible. If you are a saint, then even a Shudra can take sannyas. If you are a saint, then even a Vaishya can take sannyas. Isn't it? Correct. But that saintliness is not there in all the Kshatriyas. Okay.
If that saintliness is in sutras, kshatriyas, or brahmanas, they can take the sannyasis.
Yeah. And they can become sannyasi then because they have the quality. So they can become sannyasi.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
same applies for women also.
Yeah, same applies for women also. But for women, the way it is done is different.
But women are not violent, Prabhuji.
It's not about violence or not. It's about nature. Right? It's about nature. It's not about violence or non-violence. It's about nature. So for women also same thing applies. You know, sometimes people think only men have four orders. Women have only one order. What is that? Grihastha. Right? But that's not so. Women also have four orders. What are those four orders? Just like men have brahmachari life, women also have brahmachari life. Right? Isn't it? After that, men have grihastha ashram, women also have grihastha ashram. Then third, men have vanaprastha, women also have vanaprastha. And fourth, men have sannyas, women also have sannyas. But their sannyas is different. What is their sannyas? Sit in the home, alone, in one room, and hold it to puja. That's sannyas for them. Because for them, it's not safe to wander around with a danda, you know. That's not safe for them. So you sit at home and you do only bhakti, that's sannyas
We
for
are
them.
not able to hear, Prabhu.
You're not able to hear. Everyone is
No,
able
we
to
are.
hear.
Can you, can
No,
you?
it's okay. It's okay.
Fine.
Prabhu.
We can hear.
So that's sannyas for them.
Prabhuji, I have seen, I don't know they were sannyasis or not, but they live in Pandharpur only. They
That is
was there
there.
in
I mean,
Chatur. That is
you are
not
talking about
sannyas, na?
talking about ladies or the men.
Yeah, yeah, the women.
Yeah, there are women like that who might give up family life completely, maybe because they are widows or whatever reason, you know, and then they live with other women together. That is allowed. There's nothing wrong with that.
So that's a kind of sannyas only.
Kind of sannyas only, no? Kind of sannyas only, right? But they cannot become sannyasi like a man, like walking alone all over the world with a stick, you know, that's not allowed. It's not allowed. But
Hare
that,
Krishna, Prabhuji, then Prabhuji, what about brahmacharani? Basically, you are at home and studying. That's the only way, but you cannot really live renounced way of life during childhood. So how can women
no,
practice?
brahmachari life is nothing about renunciation. Brahmachari life means study.
Study books and your school and college, whatever.
That's brahmachari. What renunciation is what? Now, the problem is, what used to be a simple, good life in the past, if we are asked to live that in the present, you say we're very renounced. Right? This is a very renounced. But that's not renunciation. That is simple life. What is renunciation in that? So for brahmachari, the duty is study of scriptures. If you're doing that, you're brahmachari. Fine. There's a difference between austerity and renunciation. There's difference. So brahmachari life is austere life. But renunciation is mainly in sannyasa ashram. No, that is there. Brahmacharya life is austere. Austere means difficult, challenging, no comfort, less sense gratification. That's austerity. Why it is there? To not distract you from the goal. This is the age to study. So don't be distracted by sense gratification. Focus. You're getting the Mataji?
Yes.
That's the point.
But Prabhuji, women are never allowed to stay in the temple. Like brahmacharis, men can stay in the temples, have all the time, 24 hours.
No, it's not
But
nothing like that. Mataji, women
yeah,
are not allowed to
no.
stay in the temple. There's nothing like that. There's always been cases in the past where women lived in ashram. We have example, no? Where was Mother Sita sent?
Yeah, she was in the ashram.
In the ashram of a sage.
Valmiki ashram. Yeah.
So what is it? It's a temple only, no? Correct?
Yes.
So that is there. But why it is not encouraged? The reason it's not encouraged is because then there is so much of responsibility of protecting those women. That's why it becomes socially challenging. You're getting it? That's why. Otherwise, there is nothing like that. We have cases in the past. Even Srila Prabhupada allowed in the Western country brahmacharini ashram. He allowed.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Devesh Prabhu.
Prabhuji, this animal sacrifice, is this still prevalent? And I mean, where was it done earlier also? Like, it's mentioned that you're attaining a higher life after that animal attains a higher life. Could you just explain this concept, please?
So here, Srila mentions it in the context of hunting, right? Kshatriya would go to the forest and kill the animal for practice. And then after that, even give cremation to that animal, in a religious manner. So that would happen. And there was another kind of animal sacrifice which Brahmana priest would do. The process was this. Very, very simply, I'll explain.
Prabhuji, why this animal is called the royal order of cremation for the animal who was killed?
Because that killing was done for the sake of training the king who is going to protect the whole country.
Means
So
while he
that animal has died like a warrior. Not like, from behind you shoot the animal with a gun. Nothing like that. That animal has sacrificed his life or its life like a warrior fighting in a battle. So that the king can be trained to fight. So that this king in future can protect the kingdom. So
can
therefore
can it mean that the animal was given a respectful cremation?
Yeah, of course. Respectful cremation.
Okay.
And then this animal gets a human life, right, in the next birth? Prabhuji?
Yeah, that animal is going to get a better life in the next birth. Okay, so that's regarding to the killing of animal by a Kshatriya king, right? And it was not like, as we have heard nowadays, people, they go with a gun in the forest and they just shoot an animal. Nothing like that, You go in front of the tiger with hands and, you fight with the tiger. That kind of fighting was there. Now, when it talks about animal sacrifice in a yagya. So, in the past, there was this process. If you are a king of a kingdom, and if you want to perform some huge sacrifice, in which you are going to invest huge amount of gold, huge amount of money, so many people will be working hard. So, just to maintain the, the righteousness of the spirit of the person, that you are doing it for the right cause. There was this condition. You'll have to find a very special animal. Not that, you'd catch any horse or any cow from the street. No, 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 no. You have to find a horse whose one ear is white, another ear is black, whose tail has 100 black hairs, one white hair. Like that, you have to find a very special horse, which means such horse was created by Krishna for sacrifice only, kind of horse, not that any horse you pick from the street. You find that special horse, and then you bring that horse or you bring that animal, and then you sacrifice that animal in that yajna. With this condition that if this animal is sacrificed, then the brahmanas, they should be so pure in chanting the mantras that they should be able to bring this animal back to life. If not, then all these brahmanas are going to go to hell. Okay.
Negative marking.
Not negative mark, completely negative mark. Right? Then only brahmanas are involved? No. That king is going to be the yajman of the sacrifice. This animal will be killed, and a part of the flesh of that animal will be given to the king. You eat it. If your sacrifice is successful, no problem. If your sacrifice is not successful, immediately your whole body will become black, like coal. Which means the entire sin of killing that animal will come on your head. And when you'll become black like that, the whole kingdom will reject you from kingship.
But animal still will be benefited. He will get that human form of life. Even if it is wrong, sacrifice is wrong.
Yeah. Now, that's the thing. The animal will not get benefited. That's why it will become a sinful activity. And the sin will come on the head of the Brahmana and the king. Right? But if it is done properly, what will happen? That animal will immediately get a human birth. So this was the whole thing of animal sacrifice. Now, in Kali Yuga, how can such thing be done? First, you'll not find such a horse only, or such a cow, right? Then no such brahmanas, no such kings. That's right. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I ask? Prabhuji, what will be the difference between the sannyas and the vanaprastha ashram for women?
Sannyas for sannyas
And
in
vanaprastha ashram for women.
Vanaprastha ashram for women is you can be with the husband.
Okay. Doing bhakti.
Doing bhakti. Go for Tirth Yatra together, all that.
Prabhuji, then it will become vanprastha for the husband also. If they do it
Yeah,
together.
of course. Yeah. Together. That's Vanaprastha. Okay.
But Prabhuji, you might not get the cooperation together actually. You will
Take
be
sannyas.
alone. Alone only. Not both together, but alone. And this is what's
That is
happening.
sannyas. That is sannyas.
That is sannyas.
Okay. We have question. If someone says one cannot kill the soul and kills an animal and justifies it, so you kill that person. Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyas. Why? Already answered. If someone says one cannot kill the soul and kills an animal and justifies it, that only body is killed. So what's wrong in this? That's why I said, then you can kill that person and say, no, there's nothing wrong with it. So for a Kshatriya Prabhu, the ashramas are only 3, yes. Does this mean that the animal will die and get the back to life during the sacrifice? Yes. So that means Prabhu sacrifice in the name of Mother Kali is not correct, right? Sacrifice in the name of Mother Kali is Not correct in the sense, it is correct, but then it should be done in the right way. Not the kind of sacrifice which happens these days. What is given in the scriptures is okay for those class of people. All right, questions done. Next verse. Today we'll spend 1 hour on just one verse. Okay. यदृच्छया चोपपन्नं स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतं सुखिनः क्षत्रिया पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धम् ईदृशम्. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. Right. Yes, read. Read the Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. As supreme teacher of the world, Lord Krishna condemns the attitude of Arjuna, who said, I do not find any good in this fighting. It will cause perpetual habitation in hell. Such statements by Arjuna were due to ignorance only. He wanted to become non-violent in the discharge of his specific duty. For a Kshatriya to be on the battlefield and to become non-violent is the philosophy of fools. In the Parashara Smriti, or religious quotes made by Parashara, the great sage and father of Vyasadeva, it is stated, Kshatriyo hi praja rakshan shastrapani pradandayan nirjitya parasainyadi kshitim dharmena palayet. The Kshatriya's duty is to protect the citizens from all kinds of difficulties, and for that reason, he has to apply violence in suitable cases for law and order. Therefore, he has to conquer the soldiers. Prabhu, can you please scroll up? And for that reason, he has to apply violence in suitable cases for law and order. Therefore, he has to conquer the soldiers of inimical kings, and thus, with religious principles, he should rule over the world. Considering all aspects, Arjuna had no reason to refrain from fighting. If he should conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom, and if he should die in the battle, he would be elevated to the heavenly planets, whose doors were wide open to him. Fighting would be for his benefit in either case. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So Arjuna was thinking, if I fight, there's no benefit at all. And Krishna is saying, no. If you fight, there's win-win situation in both the cases, whether you win or you lose. How? If you fight, if you win, you get the kingdom and enjoy it. If you fight, if you lose, you go to heaven and enjoy it. But if you don't fight, what will happen then? Next verse. Atha chettamimam dharmyam sangram na karishyasi tata swadharmam kirtim cha hitva papam avapsyasi. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. Usha Mataji. Unmute, please.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Done. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Next time, if you start talking without unmuting yourself, we'll give you a fine.
Okay, Prabhuji, I'll remember. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Arjuna was a famous fighter and he attained fame by fighting many great demigods, including even Lord Shiva. After fighting and defeating Lord Shiva in the dress of a hunter, Arjuna pleased the Lord and received as a reward a weapon called Pashupata Astra. Everyone knew that he was a great warrior. Even Dronachari gave him benedictions and awarded him the special weapons by which he could kill even his teacher. So he was credited with so many military certificates from many authorities, including his adoptive father, Indra, the heavenly king. But if he abandoned the battle, not only would he neglect his specific duty as a Kshatriya, but he would lose all his fame and good name, and thus prepare his royal road to hell. In other words, he would go to hell not fighting, but by withdrawing from the battle. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Next. Akirtim chapi bhutani kathayishyanti te vyayam sambhavitasya chakirtir maranad atirichyate. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Lalita Prishta Gopi.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhuji. Both as friend and philosopher to Arjuna, Lord Krishna now gives his final judgment regarding Arjuna's refusal to fight. The Lord says, Arjuna, if you leave the battlefield before the battle even begins, people will call you a coward. And if you think that people may call you bad names, but that you will save your life by fleeing that battlefield, then my advice is that you'd do better to die in a battle. For a respectable man like you, your fame is worse than this. So you shall not flee for fear of your life. Better to die in a battle. That will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in society. So the final judgment of the Lord was for Arjuna to die in a battle and not withdraw. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, what is the misusing of friendship of Krishna? If he goes without fighting, people will say you are misusing the friendship of Krishna. What does it mean?
People will say you have misused the friendship of Krishna. Why? Because if he doesn't fight, then Krishna is known to give good direction, good guidance to everyone who is related to him. He's known to speak on Dharma. And if Arjuna does not do what is supposed to be done, what will people say? What was the benefit of you being a friend of Krishna? Right? If you are a friend of Krishna and still you are doing this, so if that kind of a comment comes, what it means? He misused the friendship of Krishna. He didn't use it properly.
Okay.
That's the misuse. Right? That's the misuse. That he didn't use
Yes.
it properly.
Okay.
And even people may tell Krishna that whose chariot driver you became? You became the chariot driver of a coward. Right? So that's what Krishna is trying to directly hint to Arjuna. Fine. Let's take a break. Thirty-five. Bhayadranat uparatang ansyante tamaharathaha yesham chatam bahumato bhutva yasasi laghavam. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. Insignificant. So this is what Krishna is saying. If you not fight, you'll get three things. Sin due to giving up duty, infamy worse than death, criticism that you fled out of fear. Doing the wrong thing is wrong. But not doing the right thing and remaining neutral is also wrong. Sometimes people in this world, they say, I'm not doing any wrong thing. But that doesn't make you a good man or a good person. You have to do the right things. Right? So not just doing the wrong doesn't make one good or complete. We have to know what is the right and we have to do that. Right? That's what makes one's right. So if Arjuna says, well, I'll not kill anyone, I'm not doing any wrong by not killing. Krishna says, no, your duty is to fight. So if you don't kill, you're doing a wrong thing. You're supposed to kill. Right? So now Krishna then said, go beyond enjoyment. Don't think of fighting this war because it's going to give you happiness or suffering. Go beyond. 236. Avachavadanksha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nindantastava samarthyam tato dukkha taram nakim. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? So, ato va prapsisi swargam jitva va bhokshashe mahim tasmad uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchaya. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. Next. Now topic change. Here he was telling you fight because if you fight, you're going to become the king of the planet Earth and you'll enjoy. Or if you lose, then you'll go to heaven and enjoy. And then Krishna then changes the topic. He says, but that's not the best reason to fight. That should not be the best attitude to fight. Your duty is to fight. How you should do that duty? In what attitude you should do that duty? That Krishna gives in this verse. Sukha dukkhe same kritva lava labho jaya jayo tato yudhyaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat. And by so doing, you shall never incur sin. So you should fight, but you should fight it not for the goal of becoming victorious or other thing. You should fight as a matter of duty. And if you do that, you will not incur sin. Arjuna's third point was fear of sinful reactions. So Krishna is saying, if you fight in this way, no sin. Right? Do it as a matter of duty. So this is called Nishkam spirit. Nishkam bhav. Mega Gupta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. But the Lord Krishna now directly says that Arjuna should fight for the sake of fighting because he desires the battle. There is no consideration of happiness or distress, profit or loss, victory or defeat in the activities of the Krishna consciousness. That everything should be performed for the sake of Krishna is the transcendental consciousness. So there is no reason to material activities. He who acts for his own sense gratification, either in goodness or in passion, is subject to the reaction, good or bad. But he who has completely surrendered himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness is no longer obliged to anyone, nor is he a debtor to anyone, as one is in the ordinary course of activities. It is said, Devarsi bhutapta naranam pitranam na kinkaro nayanam srini cha ऋणीचर्षण सर्व आत्मना यः शरणं शरणयाम गतो मुकुन्दं परिहृत्य कर्तम्. Anyone who has completely surrendered onto Krishna, Mukunda, giving up all other activities, is no longer a debtor, nor is he obliged to anyone, not the demigods, nor the sages, nor the people in general, nor kingsmen, nor humanity or forefathers. Bhagavad-gita 11. Sorry.
Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam 11.5.41. This is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjuna in this verse, and the matter will be more clearly explained in the flowing verses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna is saying, go beyond enjoyment. Sukha dukhe samekritva labha labho jaya jayo. Right? Naivam papamasi. See, this concept is called Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay? Nishkama means without material desires. Karma means one's occupation, one's work. Yoga, because you give the results to Krishna. So it becomes Nishkama Karma Yoga. Any questions so far? We'll still continue, but I'm just asking. No, right? Okay. So we'll talk about Nishkama Karma Yogis. Now there are two kinds of Nishkama Karma Yogis. Okay? Let me ask you this question. Have you come across people in this world who are not devotees, but at the same time, they're very religious and they have a sense of detachment? Means they will just work in a very dutiful manner. They are not cheaters. They are not greedy for money. They have been going to a job for 30 years, 9 to 5 job. Still, they'll continue to do that job. They don't have big ambitions like I want a house, I want a car. In that, meager salary of 30 rupees, 30,000, 40,000 per month, they spend the whole life. Something like that. Have you seen such people? Huh? They are not devotees.
Yes,
But they
Prabhuji,
are very,
maybe.
but if you
Maybe.
meet them, they are very satisfied. I mean, in life, they're satisfied. They will never complain. I did not get this, I did not get that. Very satisfying. Come across such people? Yeah. So that is one kind of Nishkam Karma Yogi. Now that detachment which they have, that has come because of what?
Family and society.
Now that detachment which they have, that's come because of what?
Because of this
Previous karma.
Previous karma,
Which
Prabhuji.
karma? Which karma?
Sincerity toward duty. That's why I came.
Okay. And
Because they likes Prabhu.
no. Because either in the past lives or in the present life, they have cultivated some sort of Atma Gyan. Knowledge of soul. So this is one kind of Nishkam Karma Yogi, Atma Jnani. And there are people like that. They know I am not this body. One day this body will die. So they'll just do everything as a matter of duty. And that's one kind of Nishkam Karma Yogi. Such a person also does not get any reactions for his work. Because of that knowledge has produced detachment, they don't get any result of what they do, reaction. And the other kind of Karma Yogi is a devotee, Krishna Bhakta. This is superior to the previous category. Because that person only knows about Atma. But this Nishkam Karma Yogi knows about Atma and Paramatma and the Bhagavan. So the difference between two of them is what? The previous one knows, I am not this body, I am spirit soul. But this one knows, I am not the body, I am spirit soul, and also I am a servant of Krishna. So now tell me this one thing. There are so many Bhagavad-gitas in the market. People may come to understand that they are not this body and material and spirit soul by reading those Bhagavad-gitas. But by reading Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad-gita,
We will understand that we are servant of Krishna.
we will also understand that you are Krishna's servant. Higher level of Nishkam Karma Yoga. Right? So the previous one receives no reaction for one's activities because of detachment from the results of one's activities. But the second case receives no results for one's activities or reaction because of giving all the results to Krishna. Understood? You have to giving all the result to Krishna, so no reaction.
In first category, do they not get any reaction, Prabhu?
No. They will also get liberation. But their liberation will be Brahmajyoti liberation.
But how come, Prabhu, unless one dedicates the results of activity to Krishna, the reactions will not be stopped, right?
Because of the knowledge. I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. So I'm not doing anything. Everything is being done by the body. And because I'm not doing anything, everything is being done by the body. All the reactions are so for the body, not for me.
But still, reactions will come, right, to the body.
No, the reactions will not come because you're not doing it in the spirit of attachment. That's what we'll study later in chapter 3, 4. Reaction of a karma is produced not because you have done the karma. Reaction of the karma is produced when we could become attached to the result of that karma. Getting it?
But if we don't offer to Krishna, then where it is going? My question is, the results where the results will be taken shelter.
It will go where it is supposed to go. Your family is there, your society is there. Like to give you an example, let's say someone has a salary of 40,000 per month. Give everything to Krishna? No, no.
No. Okay, you're asking me, yeah.
No, no.
Okay, yeah, we don't give.
You don't give, right? Everything to Krishna.
Right.
So where it goes? Family, society, right?
Yes.
Similarly, that person will not give to Krishna. Where it will go? Family, society, wherever.
But here the point is, Prabhu, when we earn 40,000, for example, 20,000 we have given to temple, consider, and 20,000 we are utilizing, to engage our
Correct.
family members and everyone to progress in devotion. That is also being used in devotional activities, right?
Yeah, that's how. So similarly, that person is using that 40,000. I'll feed the birds. I'll feed the cows. I'll feed the hungry people. I'll feed my family also.
But the consciousness beyond the activity is not Krishna consciousness.
It is I am soul consciousness.
Okay.
And I am soul consciousness can also free you from karma.
Okay.
But finally,
So what it means is that consciousness will take you beyond the body. It will give you liberation also. But then it will not give you complete liberation.
there is a scope that he will fall down again after going back.
Fall down again. Because he is only a jnani. He's not a bhakta. Atma jnani. Getting it? So that's why this question may come in some people's mind. You see so many people out there in this world who are not devotees. But sometimes they are more detached than devotees.
Okay.
Right or wrong?
Yes, Prabhuji, very right.
Why? Because they are more Atma Gyan. That's why they are more detached. But they don't have Krishna Gyan. Right? However, we should not become happy. Because if they have more Atma Gyan, if they somehow or other get Krishna Gyan, they'll become better devotees than us. You understand it?
Yeah.
That's why a jnani, if a jnani becomes a bhakta, he becomes a better bhakta than those who are not jnanis. And that Krishna will say in chapter 7 of Bhagavad-gita. That a jnani bhakta is better than other bhaktas. You understanding?
Yeah. I have one more layer, Prabhu, in between. That layer is, for example, Nishkama yogi, one who, for example, if you take a devotee, he is completely dedicate the results of the activity to Krishna. Okay, he does for only Krishna. Sometimes, some people, we come across some people, they do activities according to their life. Though they are Niskama yogi, but according to his wish. For example, there are two services in temple. For example, one is for cleaning the temple, and second one is, doing some deity worship in the temple. For example, this devotee only likes deity worship, not the temple cleaning. But he was asked to do temple cleaning, but he doesn't want to do. But the results he always dedicate to Krishna. This guy comes under which category, Prabhu?
If you are attached to the work, then you don't come in the spirit of Nishkam. And it's a calm. Even if you give all the results to Krishna. Because result doesn't just mean result. It means your body, it means your mind, it means everything. Right? All right, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Does Krishna consciousness necessarily mean detachment? Yes. From Everything you become detached, but you offer everything to Krishna. When we give all the results to Krishna, does that free us from the underlying and associated karma with that activity? Yes. But we should know one thing, please try to understand. Giving the result to Krishna does not mean I earn 40,000 and give everything, every single rupee to Krishna, so I become free from reaction. The result is not just that 40,000, no. That is only the monetary result of what you have done. Like to give you an example, you work in a company. The company gives you at the end of the month 40,000 rupees and a certificate of appreciation that you are the best employee of the month. You give all the 40,000 rupee to Krishna. That Krishna, today I got this award. I have been selected as the best employee of the month. So all 40,000 for you. But everywhere you go around showing the certificate, you see, I'm the best employee of the month. Why? I worked very hard. My sincerity paid off. Then you gave 40,000 to Krishna, but you did not give the credit of your success to Krishna. Isn't it? That credit you took away. So you did not give everything to
Prabhu,
Krishna.
giving up the results and also credit to Krishna, that is the main point, right?
No,
We have to
no,
also
that's
give
only
the
an
credit
example.
of
That's
our
not the
work.
main point. That's the example. Just explaining to you. Right. So when you say Nishkam, it means Nishkam totally. That's Nishkam. So there are levels of Nishkam. You getting it? Yes. Okay.
Hare Krishna,
Any other
Prabhuji.
question? No.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, not all yogas come down from the Brahma Jyotis, no? So they can also advance further also.
Yeah, they can advance further
Even the
also.
Gyanis, in case if they get the
Yes,
knowledge.
yes. Why not? Yes. They can advance also. What's the harm? This we have discussed, I mean, many times. When you talk about detachment, it's because of Atma Gyan. So you'll find such people, even within our movement, you'll find such people. That those who have come with that background, that they were detached from very beginning in their life. And it's because of Atma Gyan cultivated in the past life. When they become devotees in this life, they become better devotees than other devotees. So it's not that, an Atma Gyani will fall down only. No. Atma Gyani, if they gets the association of a Bhakta, can make more progress. Therefore, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad-gita, and we should also make this point, that if you are not a Gyani Bhakta, better become a Gyani Bhakta. Which means what? That if we are devotees of that type, we worship Krishna because we are in pain, we worship Krishna because we want money from Krishna, we worship Krishna because we are just curious about Krishna. No. Better than that, you become a devotee of Krishna because you have Atma Gyan. And for that reason, Prabhupada wanted devotees to study the scriptures. That you develop knowledge, Gyan. Getting it? Right? So this is
Yes,
there.
Prabhuji.
Okay. So far what we learn in this section, Krishna is not advocating that Arjuna should only work. No, that's not being advocated. Only spiritual knowledge, cultivation of knowledge, that is also not being advocated. What is being advocated? You should work with knowledge. Fight with detachment. You should do your duty with spiritual knowledge. That's being advocated. That's called Nishkam Karma Yoga. Okay. What is the difference between Nishkam Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga then? Are they the same?
Nishkam Karma Yoga is like doing the duty only and knowing that I am soul. And the second one is like we know this thing also, and we also know Krishna.
No, but there can be a Nishkam Karma Yogi who knows Krishna. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Loving Krishna.
In Bhakti Yoga, we surrender completely to Krishna.
What does that surrender mean?
Bhakti Yoga means
Everything, whatever is happening in our life, we say that everything is because of Krishna, and in whatever circumstances I am kept, I say
Keep
devotional
perform
service
the
to Krishna.
duties and don't think for that reward of the duty.
Having devotional service to Krishna.
Being attached
Bhakti
to
means Bhakti means you have to do
Loving.
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmani Vedanam. That is Bhakti. Just going to the office, paying 40,000 rupees all to Krishna, that will not become Bhakti. Right? Bhakti means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. 9 limbs of devotional service. That has to be done. Then it becomes Bhakti Yoga. Right? Not that, okay, I'll earn money, I'll give all the money to Krishna, finish. I'm a devotee now. No. You have to do the other activities of devotional service also. Isn't it? That's why Krishna did not tell Arjuna, Arjuna, you fight, finish, become a devotee. No, what did he say? While you fight, while you are fighting, keep thinking of me. Right? Remember me. Right? He says, right, isn't it? Remember me. Think of me.
Anusmara Yuddhacha.
That's Bhakti then. That's Bhakti. That's Bhakti Yoga. Okay. Next section. Buddhi Yoga. Now Krishna will bring a new topic. Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi means what?
Jnana.
Intelligence.
Jnana. No.
Discrimination.
Yes, discrimination. What else? Buddhi means what?
Intelligent, right and wrong.
Intelligence.
knowledge.
Buddhi means attitude. Your intelligence or your knowledge should lead to a certain attitude. That's called Buddhi Yoga. Okay. So this Buddhi Yoga can be of 2 types. One is Nishkam Karma Yoga is also known as Buddhi Yoga. Because you have a certain attitude, a certain thinking. What is that thinking? I am spirit soul, I am not this body. And even Bhakti Yoga can also be Buddhi Yoga. Because you have a certain attitude or intelligence. What is that? I am not this body, I am Krishna's servant. Understood? 2 kinds of Buddhi Yoga. Nishkam Karma Yoga is also called Buddhi Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is also called Buddhi Yoga. So Krishna will talk about that here in 2.39. Says, Esha te bhita sankhye buddhi yoge tvimangshino buddhaya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. Thus far I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. Let's read this. Tulasi Mataji.
Hare Krishna pranams. Purport. According to Nirukti, or the dictionary, Sankhya means that which describes things in detail, and Sankhya refers to that philosophy which describes the real nature of the soul. And yoga involves controlling the senses. Arjuna's proposal not to fight was based on sense gratification. Forgetting his prime duty, he wanted to cease fighting because he thought that by not killing his relatives and kinsmen, he would be happier than by enjoying the kingdom after conquering his cousins and brothers, the sons of Dhritarashtra. In both ways, the basic principles were for sense gratification. Happiness derived from conquering them and happiness derived by seeing kinsmen alive are both on the basis of personal sense gratification, even at a sacrifice of wisdom and duty. Krishna therefore wanted to explain to Arjuna that by killing the body of his grandfather, he would not be killing the soul proper. And he explained that in all individual persons, including the Lord himself, are eternal individuals. They were individuals in the past, they were individuals in the present, and they will continue to remain individuals in the future because all of us are individual souls eternally. We simply change our bodily dress in different manners, but actually we keep our individuality even after liberation from bondage of material dress. An analytical study of the soul and the body has been very graphically explained by Lord Krishna, and this descriptive knowledge of the soul and the body from different angles of vision has been described here as Sankhya in terms of the Nirukti dictionary. This Sankhya has nothing to do with the Sankhya philosophy of the atheist Kapila. Long before the impostor Kapila's Sankhya, the Sankhya philosophy was expounded in the Srimad Bhagavatam by the true Lord Kapila, the incarnation of Lord Krishna, who explained it to his mother, Devahuti. It is clearly explained by him that the Purusha, or the Supreme Lord, is active and that he creates by looking over the Prakriti. This is accepted in the Vedas and in the Gita. The description in the Vedas indicates the Lord glanced over Prakriti, or nature, and impregnated it with atomic individual souls. All these individuals are working in the material world for sense gratification, and under the spell of material energy, they are thinking of being enjoyers. This mentality is dragged to the last point of liberation when the living entity wants to become one with the Lord. This is the last snare of Maya, or sense gratification illusion. It is only after many, many births of such sense gratificatory activities that a great soul surrenders unto Vasudeva, Lord Krishna, thereby fulfilling the search after the ultimate truth.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yes. Neha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Arjuna has already accepted Krishna as his spiritual master by surrendering himself unto him. Shishyaste aham sadhimam tvam prapannam. Consequently, Krishna will now tell him about the working process in Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga, or in other words, the practice of devotional service only for the sense gratification of the Lord. This Buddhi Yoga is clearly explained in chapter 10, verse 10, as being direct communion with the Lord, who is sitting as Paramatma in everyone's heart. But such communion does not take place without devotional service. One who is therefore situated in devotional or transcendental loving service to the Lord, or in other words, in Krishna consciousness, attains to this stage of Buddhi Yoga by the special grace of the Lord. The Lord says, therefore, that only to those who are always engaged in devotional service out of transcendental love does he award the pure knowledge of devotion in love. In that way, the devotee can reach him easily in the ever blissful kingdom of God.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vishakha Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thus, the Buddhi Yoga mentioned in this verse is the devotional service of the Lord, and the word Sankhya mentioned herein has nothing to do with the atheistic Sankhya Yoga enunciated by the impostor Kapil. One should not therefore misunderstand that the Sankhya Yoga mentioned herein has any connection with the atheistic Sankhya, nor did that philosophy have any influence during that time, nor would Lord Krishna care to mention such godless philosophical speculations. Real Sankhya philosophy is described by Lord Kapil in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But even that Sankhya has nothing to do with the current topics. Here, Sankhya means analytical description of the body and the soul. Lord Krishna made an analytical description of the soul just to bring Arjuna to the point of Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, Lord Kapil's Sankhya and Lord Krishna's Sankhya and Lord Kapil's Sankhya, as described in the Bhagavatam, are one and the same. They are all Bhakti Yoga. Lord Krishna said, therefore, that only the less intelligent class of men make a distinction between Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Sankhya Yoga prithak bala pravadanti na pandita. Of course, atheistic Sankhya Yoga has nothing to do with Bhakti Yoga, yet the unintelligent claim that the atheistic Sankhya Yoga is referred to in the Bhagavad-gita.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank
Danila Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam. One should therefore understand that Buddhi Yoga means to work in Krishna consciousness in the full bliss and knowledge of devotional service. One who works for the satisfaction of the Lord only, however difficult such work may be, is working under the principle of Buddhi Yoga and finds himself always in transcendental bliss. By such transcendental engagement, one achieves all transcendental understanding automatically by the grace of the Lord, and thus his liberation is complete in itself without his making extraneous endeavors to acquire knowledge. There is much difference between work in Krishna consciousness and work for fruitive results, especially in the matter of sense gratification for achieving results in terms of family or material happiness. Buddhi Yoga is therefore the transcendental quality of the work that we perform. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Next verse. Neha vikramanaşosti pratyavayo na vidyate salpamapi yasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So in this endeavor, this is the glory of Buddhi Yoga. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Yes, Abhishek Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectations of the sense gratification is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impediment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on the material plane has to be completed, otherwise, the whole attempt becomes a failure. But any work begun in Krishna consciousness has a permanent effect, even though not finished. The performer of such work is therefore not at a loss, even if his work in Krishna consciousness is incomplete. 1% done in Krishna consciousness bears permanent result, so that the next beginning is from the point of 2%, whereas in material activity without 100% success there is no profit. Ajamil performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end was the 100% by the grace of the Lord. There is a nice verse in this connection in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.17 त्वक्त्वा स्वधर्मं चरणं भुजं हरेर् भजन अवक्त्वा स्थापते ततो यदि यत्रा क्वा विभद्राम अभुद अमुष्याय किम को वृथा अपतो abhajatam dharmata. If someone gives
We
up,
can recite in this way. Tyaktva swadharmam charanambujam harer vajan pakvothapate tato yadi yatra kuva bhadram abhud amushyakim ko vatapto bhajatam sudharmataha. Okay, someone else can read. Kunagai Karantu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So if someone gives up his occupational duties and walks in Krishna consciousness and then falls down on the account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? And what can one gain if one performs his material activities perfectly? Or as the Christian says, what profit a man if he gain the whole world yet suffer the loss of his eternal soul? The material activities and their results end with the body. But work in Krishna consciousness carries a person again to Krishna consciousness, even after the loss of the body. At least one is sure to have a chance in the next life of being born again as a human being, either in the family of a great cultured Brahmana or in a rich aristocratic family that will give one a further chance for elevation. That is the unique quality of work done in Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Puji.
So in karma kanda or in karma, this is the problem. That if the karma is performed incompletely, then there's no gain. Like to give you an example, if you are building a house and you don't build it properly, what will happen? The house will collapse. So work, when it is done incompletely, it leads to loss, right? Isn't it? Hmm? And when it is imperfectly done, it leads to sin. Like, let's say I'm doing a yajna. If I started the yajna, I completed the yajna only 50%. Will it give me the result of the yajna? No. Okay, I completed it 100%, but I did it improperly. Properly. Will it give me the result? No. If I do it improperly, it will be considered sinful because I did it improperly. If I do it incompletely, it's not completed, so it will not give me result. But in case of bhakti, even if it is done incompletely or it is done improperly, it will give you result. Right? So no loss. No loss. You do it incompletely, only 20% bhakti done, no problem. Next slide, begin from 21%. Right? You do it improperly. You do some mistakes during bhakti, you do some aparadh during bhakti, fine. Bhakti may go in the background for some time, but bhakti will never be lost. That's the great quality of bhakti. Right? Understood? Okay. Any question or comment? If you don't have a question, put your hand down, please.
Offense is like a mad elephant. So improperly when one does, if there are any committed offenses, then mad elephant, it spoils entire the garden. So similarly, the bhakti.
What will happen? Bhakti will be spoiled for some time. Not that it will be completely lost. For some time it will spoil. into Vaishnava aparadh, it will spoil bhakti to some extent, but not completely. Because some other Vaishnava will come and give mercy upon you after some time. Like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Just one question. If a devotee doesn't follow the four regulative principles, and if we break any one principle, then is it a sin? And is there any solution for that to come back in the, because he's a devotee for many years, so he breaks the four regulative principle, then what is the solution for that person to come back to in devotional life?
Accept bhakti again. Simple. That's the comeback.
So, but it will be calculated as a sin, no? So,
it cannot be. What did you say, Madaji? I cannot hear.
it will be a sin, no? Sin.
Yeah, so
committed by this person.
the sin is done. What is the prayaschitta for that sin? The prayaschitta is that you don't sin and you do devotional service again.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Ashok Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question is about my understanding of the translation of 2.39. Krishna says, thus far I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study, which means Jnana Yoga and Sankhya Yoga. Next he says, O son of Partha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of work. When he says in such knowledge, it is like Jnana Yoga or Nishkama Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, whatever he is explaining here. Which yoga he is mentioning, or all the three? Sankhya, Jnana, Buddhi, all no? All together. Okay. Two which he has already explained in previous shlokas, and this Buddhi Yoga which he is explaining now. If we know we are in the knowledge of all the three yogas, then we will be beyond this bondage yoga. So this such knowledge relates to all the 3-4 yogas.
Yes. But the type of liberation will be different.
Depending upon the yoga.
Yeah. If it is Bhakti Yogi, then liberation is complete. If it's not Bhakti Yogi, then the liberation is incomplete.
One more question. This Nishkama Karma Yoga and Buddhi Yoga can be used interchangeably with slight difference. Number one. And second is Jnana Yoga and Sankhya Yoga also can be used slightly interchangeably.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You can understand this way. Buddhi Yoga is the subset. Sorry, the superset. And Nishkama Karma Yoga is the subset. And similarly, Jnana Yoga is the superset, Sankhya Yoga is the subset.
Understood. Thank you.
Gunagrai Ganan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, the section, that last section that we have read, so the if someone thinks that okay, we are doing bhakti, but in the next life we may get chance to take birth in the aristocratic family, but still there is a risk, right, Prabhuji, that we may not get the association of devotees.
Risk is there. I mean, but then at the same point, bhakti is not lost. That's the thing. Risk is there, but bhakti is not lost. That's what Krishna is saying there. Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhuji.
There's another question in the chat box. Paying back Krishna whatever we earn can be considered karma yoga? Yes. Sanatan Nitai, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, one question I had is, Prabhupada is talking about some person, Kapil, who we should not be listening to. Can you give me a small brief about that person, like what he's actually trying to imply that we should not be listening to, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
There was one Lord Kapila, we already know from Srimad Bhagavatam, the son of Mother Devhuti. That Lord Kapila is the incarnation of Supreme Lord, and he gave us Sankhya philosophy. But in history, in the past, some other Kapila philosopher, a normal human being, also came. And he also gave a philosophy, which is Sankhya, but incomplete Sankhya. So Prabhupada is saying we should not listen to that incomplete Sankhya.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Means, Prabhuji, there are two Kapilas.
Yes, one the original, the other one the duplicate.
Okay.
The original one is the Supreme Lord, the duplicate one is a human being. So the original one, the Supreme Lord gave the right Sankhya system of philosophy, and the other one spoke the wrong system of Sankhya, incomplete system of Sankhya.
So even that wrong one has followers and his teachings are propagated?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Simple.
kind of Mayavadi.
Well, not really. And in one sense, yes, also. What is Sankhya? Sankhya means you analyze and you judge or evaluate what is there in this world. That is Sankhya. Fine. So the atheistic Kapila, what is saying? Okay, if you look at this world, you can find this atom, there is, there is the matter, and the matter is of different types. There's earth, water, fire, air, ether, and all that, he will say. But then he will say, there is no super soul. So what he's saying is basically the world is a combination of matter. Understood? Like I can give you a basic example. Chemistry is Sankhya only. You know chemistry? Studying chemistry? Periodic table? That is Sankhya. But in periodic table, do you find super soul?
No.
No. Can hydrogen exist without super soul?
No.
No. Can carbon exist without super soul?
Nothing.
Can neutrons, protons exist without super soul?
Nothing.
No. But so when chemistry describes the nature or the world, does it describe with super soul or without super soul?
Yeah.
So that is atheistic Sankhya. Got it?
Got it.
Yeah. And what will be theistic Sankhya? If hydrogen exists, it exists because of super soul inside. Got it, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that's the point. Okay. If someone is Atma Jnani and he's committing other sin like eating meat, will he attain liberation? A genuine Atma Jnani will not commit sin like eating meat. Because that person is Atma Jnani. Knowledge of soul is there. Right?
Prabhu, one more point here, just to add. Like in general, the science of Krishna is a package kind of, means it will be like everything will be there. If someone knows about Atmas, they must be knowing about something about Krishna also. Like that's, is it not, Prabhu?
In Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
Yes, because everything is presented together.
Yeah.
Complete knowledge is given.
Yes.
That's why. Complete knowledge is given. In other processes, incomplete knowledge is given. Okay, done? All right.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I ask one question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Last year, I had a lot of ants and his belief is a soul. And my mother panicked. She was trying to get rid of them, and then we had to have a specialist prayer to get rid of them. So how would you deal with them if you have so many ants? I believe it's a kind of soul inside.
Yeah, you can
If
do
you
that.
had some ant in your ashram, so many, how would you deal with it?
I never came across such a situation, firstly. And if there is a way to get rid of them without killing them, you should do that. If there is a way like that.
End up so many, but we had to call some specialist to clean with a spray
So
up.
then what can be done? If there was a way to do it, otherwise fine. If no, welcome to Kali Yuga.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Fine, let's stop here.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki
Hare
jai.